Coming up tonight on the news at 5, frontline workers in Great Falls and Helena will be vaccinated by the end of the week. Plus,
I'm Mike Dennison in Helena. Some big money is awarded for rural internet in Montana, but some unanswered questions as well.
From Montana's news leader, this is MTN News at 5.
Good afternoon and welcome to the News at 5. I'm Jessica Nelson. Thank you for joining us. The arrival of the Electric City's first allocation of vaccines will begin a busy process at the Great Falls Clinic and Benefice Health System. The clinic says they'll give their first vaccination tomorrow afternoon. Benefice expects to begin vaccinating their employees on Thursday morning. MTN's Matt Hosoffel has more on how the process isn't a competition between the two hospitals, it's a partnership.
The shipment of vaccines that arrived on Tuesday were for both Benefice Health System and the Great Falls Clinic. They'll be stored together at Benefice because they have the ultra-cold capacity to store the vaccines that the clinic does not.
Our clinical teams are working really closely together to address all of those concerns and ensure that we each get, the adequate allocation of vaccines that we need, as well as to make sure that they're stored properly.
Benefice initially said they expected to receive at least one box of 975 vaccines, but they may have gotten more.
We believe we may get more than the initial 975 that we anticipated, which is great.
According to the FDA, the Pfizer vaccines arrive in containers with dry ice. Once at their destination, they must be removed from the ice and stored at temperatures between negative 76 degrees and negative 112 degrees Fahrenheit. When it's time to administer those doses, they can either be thawed in a refrigerator between 35 and 46 degrees Fahrenheit, where they can be stored for up to 5 days, or they can be thawed at room temperature for 30 minutes and then used immediately. Once the vaccines have been diluted, they must be used within 6 hours.
We don't want to be in a situation where any of the vaccines become unusable because of storage issues. So we have all those logistics and plans kind of in place with our clinical teams and our pharmacy as well right now.
Benefice told MTN today they believe they do have enough doses to vaccinate all of their eligible healthcare workers in the first shipment. St. Peter's Health in Helena also received their first shipment of vaccines today and plans to administer the first doses tomorrow. We will have more on that tonight at 6. State and locally reported data shows Montana's COVID-19 case total topped 74,000. More than 8,000 of those are active cases. 870 Montanans have died as a result of complications with the virus. Now, MTN numbers we use numbers from both local county health departments and the state figures to deliver the most accurate count on cases each day. And because of that, local county health departments may be alerted to cases before Montana DPHHS. With the rollout of the coronavirus vaccine, testing for COVID-19 is still readily available to those that need it. But what tests should people be getting? Well, Shelley Mag, public health nurse for Lewis and Clark County, told MTN over the phone this afternoon that PCR tests are still widely available to the public at locations such as the Lewis and Clark County Fairgrounds and Pureview Health. But individuals have to either be showing symptoms or have a recommendation from their primary care physician. Those who are not displaying symptoms or do not have a recommendation from their doctor can try Walgreens, but an appointment is required. And according to the Walgreens website, high demand has created limited availabilities for testing. The website showed no available appointments through Friday at the Helena location. How timely you receive your results will also vary. Mag also noted rapid tests are available at Riverwood Health in Helena, but added rapid tests are only recommended for individuals who are displaying symptoms and not for those who are asymptomatic or getting tested for other reasons due to the higher likelihood of a false positive. All right, switching gears now to our forecast. How's it going?
Oh, not too bad out there today. We've got a couple of snow showers coming through the western part of the state. A couple of snow showers potentially up there around the Bear Paw Mountains here. So yeah, not much going on right now. There's a winter weather advisory up for parts of northwestern Montana and into Idaho, and a high wind warning out there around Big Timber right around the Livingston area as well. But be busy little elves right now. The weather not so bad, so you can be out and about doing all things, making hay while the sun is shining, so to speak, because the weather will go downhill. Dar she blows this weekend in a big way. One of those really kind of windy situations. And we'll talk about Christmas. It looks white, then turning bright. More on the full forecast coming up.
Thanks, Curtis. Vaccine distribution continues across the country today, with those on the front lines of hospitals getting the first shots. And more help may soon be on the way via a second vaccine. But health experts are warning Americans not to let their guard down. Sarah Dolph has more.
More sleeves rolling up as more vaccine doses roll out.
It's just wonderful to have this tool available to be able to give this to them and start protecting them as well.
145 locations coast to coast received doses Monday. Today, even more frontline medical workers are being immunized at another 425 sites. Vaccinations begin at 1,100 nursing homes next week.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for in medicine and healthcare.
And a second vaccine could soon receive emergency use authorization. Ahead of an advisory meeting Thursday, the FDA releasing documents saying Moderna's 2-dose vaccination regimen was highly effective in preventing PCR-confirmed COVID-19. But health experts urge continued caution.
The vaccine right now is not a substitute for the normal standard public health measures of wearing a mask, keeping your distance, avoiding congregate crowded sections, and particularly indoors.
As hospitals run short of space for the sickest patients.
It's devastating.
In Reno, every bed in this ICU is taken by a COVID patient. Doctors and nurses among the sick in Central California, the burden falling on those still healthy.
We have more patients and less people to take care of them.
As the country climbs above a tragic new number, more than 300,000 lives lost, with winter expected to bring more deadly days. Sarah Dolph, NBC News.
And just a reminder, our series on 95 at 25 continues tonight as we relive one of the best years for Montana football when they captured the national title. Tonight, we will catch up with Dave Dickinson and Matt Wells on what made the offense so special. And tomorrow, it will be 25 years to the day of that victory. We will look at how that win lifted Grizz football into the upper ranks of the FCS. Will the snow we see on the ground now be sticking around, or are warmer temps on their way? Curtis has all of those answers up next in his full weather forecast. And later, big money has been awarded for rural internet in Montana. Mike Dennison will break all that down for us.
It's now with Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenens.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We've got a little snow flying around the East Glacier area through Marias Pass over to the west side of Glacier National Park. Great Falls, 35 degrees, southwest winds almost 40 miles per hour, feeling more like 22 degrees out there. Not the most nicest of days that we've ever seen. And in Helena, nice to get a little sunshine here this afternoon. It's cool, 29 degrees. With a northeast wind at about 7 miles per hour. So 20s and 30s here throughout a lot of the states. Temperatures close to average for this time of year. And there are the wind speeds strong here off of the Rocky Mountain front and across north central Montana down there around Livingston. But again, Livingston, high wind advisory, and then around Big Timber over through about Park City, we've got a high wind warning that's going through the rest of today into tomorrow. Some snow showers. Roads not the best around Missoula up through the Lookout Pass area here. You can see some of those snow showers crossing the Bitterroots and impacting Interstate 90, perhaps as far east as around Drummond. Maybe a couple of flakes crossing Interstate 15 off towards the west of Great Falls, and perhaps a little snow up there around Guildford over through about Rocky Boy and just to the north of the Winifred area here. So yeah, a couple of snow showers east of the divide at best. A few flakes of snow west of the divide. That's where we're seeing more in the way of precipitation. And speaking of precipitation, this will become a pretty good storm for the Northeast later tomorrow and Thursday. Look at that snow as far south as Oklahoma and Arkansas. And here we are in Montana, and not seeing much in the way of snow anytime soon. But maybe a couple of flakes out the High Line here tonight through the overnight hours. The Central Mountain Ranges, the big snowies, the little belts, the big belts picking up some snow. Same with the crazies and the Beartooths over to the bighorns as well. For tomorrow, though, really not too bad. A mostly sunny day here for most of the state, with the exception of west of the Divide. So not too bad again for the middle of December. Here comes the next system, though, tomorrow night with mainly snow in the mountains along and west of the Divide. Deja vu all over again here. And for Thursday, looking at a mostly cloudy day, similar to today, with a little wind picking up into the afternoon as a front moves on through. So snowfall amounts, winter weather advisory, as you can see why up here around Marias Pass, and certainly up there around the Swan Range, Whitefish Range, picking up some snow. But really nothing in the lower elevations east of the Continental Divide. The mountains will be picking up some snow all the way pretty much into this weekend here. So let's look long range. Again, a few mountain snow showers tonight, also out the High Line tonight. But for Wednesday, looking at mainly mostly sunny conditions for most of the state. Another storm coming in, but with the track of the center of low pressure off towards the north, that again favors wind east of the Divide, where it will be drier, and some snow west of the Continental Divide. There goes that system on Thursday. Friday, we start out with some sun. Clouds will increase. Snow west of the Divide and the mountains. We are stuck in this pattern. I feel like a broken record. And then Saturday and Sunday, very, very windy. Likely high wind warning criteria will be needed here for Saturday and then also Sunday. Sunday warm enough for maybe a few rain showers in the lower elevations, and you're hoping for a white Christmas. Me too. Well, look at next Tuesday here. This is when we could see some good snow coming through the state, followed by high pressure moving in. So there's potential for a lot of Montana to have at least snow on the ground by the time we get into Christmas Day from that storm on next Tuesday. Tonight, very windy, a couple of flakes of snow out there, really not accumulating much, if any at all, in any of the lower elevations. A couple of snow showers up on the Continental Divide. And here's the forecast for tomorrow. Mostly sunny, but a blustery day, a little warmer than today, but not by much, 30s to about 40 degrees. For the afternoon high. A little snow up over the little belts, the big belts, and maybe a couple of snow showers around Lincoln still tomorrow morning. Here's the 7-day forecast for Helena. The 40s the next couple 4 days here. The wind increasing on Saturday and Sunday, and there's our chance for snow coming next Tuesday. Everybody keep your fingers crossed here that we get some snow, because afterward it looks like it'll be cold enough for that snow to stick around until Christmas. For Great Falls, very, very windy, extremely windy as we get into Saturday and Sunday. And there's that snow next Tuesday.
Last week, it was announced Montana would be receiving more than $120 million of federal aid to expand high-speed internet in rural areas. But as MTN's Mike Dennison reports, a big chunk of the money is allocated for a technology and product yet to be widely deployed or tested by consumers. And questions remain about whether these internet speeds will be sufficient in rural areas getting the service.
The money for expansion of high-speed internet in Montana, $126 million, was awarded to 6 telecom providers in a bidding process by the Federal Communications Commission, or FCC. Jeff Weiss of the Montana Telecommunications Association says it's good news, but with some caveats.
If you're one of those unserved customers and you have the prospect of somebody maybe coming and delivering broadband where you don't have it, I can't say anything wrong with that. Once you start peeling that onion back and looking at the details is where some of the concerns arise.
Almost 60% of the money, $73 million, is going to SpaceX, the space exploration company founded by billionaire Elon Musk. SpaceX plans to deploy something called low Earth orbit satellites, or LEOs, to offer satellite internet at 30,000 locations in Montana, unserved now by broadband. Those locales are all across the state, but mostly in rural and suburban areas not far from major cities. And as Weiss points out, a lot of unanswered questions remain for customers.
We don't know if there's going to be data caps. We don't know what the cost of this product is because we don't have a commercial product out there. So there are a lot of questions about what the LEOs or LEOs can deliver.
I reached out to SpaceX to find out more, but got no response. However, the FCC is imposing a quiet period during the bidding process, which prohibits companies from saying much publicly. Some of the other bid winners, such as CenturyLink, Frontier Communications, and Missoula's Blackfoot Communications, apparently will be deploying fiber optic cable to 14,000 locations in western Montana. But Feist says he's concerned if satellite internet becomes the low-cost standard for unserved rural areas, customers may get decent download speeds now at 100 megabits per second, but what about the future as home internet usage continues to accelerate?
Will low Earth orbiting broadband be the standard broadband, and will fiber become impossible to fund or obsolete? In other words, will 100 by 20 become the new standard? Will we forego fiber deployment, which is essentially limitless?
The next step is a vetting of the bidders by the FCC to see if they can deliver what they promise. Then, the rollout to the 46,000 locations, that will take at least 6 years to complete. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
This is also the first round of bidding for federal help on broadband expansion in rural America. A second round will focus on underserved areas, whereas this first round is for areas currently with no broadband service at all. The Fort Benton Police Department is asking for your help in designing a new patch for their department. The Fort Benton Police Department is accepting designs until January 1st. So far, only one design has been submitted. There is no design requirement, but the chief says he would like to have the word Montana in the design. The current patch just says Fort Benton.
Patch collectors from around the country may not know where Fort Benton is, so that was my thought process is, I'd like to see Montana put on the patch. And then as we were going through and I was trying to think of a way to get the community involved, I thought, well, let's put the community out there. Some kids maybe at school can draw some artistic things.
Yes, definitely a really fun idea. Those designs can be submitted at the Fort Benton City Hall. The chief hopes to have the new patches within about a month after choosing the new design. Coming up next on the news at 5, those in attendance at Argos games will look a little different this year. I'll explain who or what will be filling the stands. Stay with me.
News leader. You're watching MTN News at 5.
Welcome back with us. While the rest of the Frontier Conference has already started playing games, the University of Providence is waiting until the new year. Tom Wiley has a look at what game day will look like for the Argos.
Now, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, fans will not be allowed in the stands when the University of Providence opens the season in January. However, there will still be plenty of friendly faces dotting the bleachers at the McLaughlin Center.
The fan base here is huge, and it's loud, and home court advantage is important. Well, because of the safety, we're going to pull out the bleachers as far as we can, but we have to space our student athletes out. So we thought, why not take advantage of the reserve seats we have, get some cutouts and put them up there, and then give it a sense of a game type situation.
For $100, the Argos will turn your photos into a cardboard cutout seated in the stands during games.
And the nice thing is when we take a break, because every one of our home games is going to be streamed online on our University of Providence Argos page, it's going to be there. We're going to scan those crowds, and those people are going to recognize themselves. The parents hate it. They hate that they can't be here. But the best we can do is put them in the stands right there, and then they'll have a chance to watch our stream, so I'm looking forward to that.
Well, the upcoming season is bound to be challenging and unique, so women's basketball coach Bill Himmelberg is glad that the Argos are doing everything they can to make game day as close to normal as possible.
Yeah, I know our staff is going to pipe in some music and crowd noise, and we're excited about having the cutouts in the stands, and at least our kids can look up in the stands and see pictures of their parents being here and pictures of their host families and their friends, and hopefully student athletes from other sports up in the stands providing support. It's the best we can do to make the best out of the situation, and then we're appreciative of all the work the university staff did to give us an opportunity to get in here and be able to play and compete in the Frontier again.
Tom Wiley, MTN Sports.
All right, up next, no cookie will go untasted. What one Great Falls company is doing to spread some Christmas cheer. Stay with us.
When we welcome our West Coast viewers, we'll take you to ground zero of child hunger in this country and meet people who never imagined being in a food line, the forces making the problem worse, and how you might be able to help. Plus, overcoming vaccine resistance in communities of color. It's all when we see you ahead on Nightly News.
Montana's news leader. You're watching MTN News at 5.
What started out as a way for a Great Falls company to give back during the pandemic has turned into a potential long-term partnership. For several months, First American Title in Great Falls has been donating the company's weekly cookie order from Hempel's Bakery to the Great Falls Rescue Mission. Normally, the cookies are placed in First American Title's lobby for customers. When the lobby was closed because of the pandemic, the company decided to keep supporting the bakery by buying the cookies and then donating them. They were first donated to Great Falls Public Schools, and now First American Title is giving them to the rescue mission.
I know myself and our delivery gal has had several conversations with the mission, and they're very appreciative, and it just brings a light to their guests.
She says the company is now considering continuing the cookie donation once the lobby reopens. Wonderful way to spread Christmas cheer, especially during this pandemic. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. That's all for us tonight. Nightly News is next.